Starting with the idea of warm-up sets. I've never done them. They've never been necessary. I do warm up, but not in the form of warm-up sets. So going into your workout, have a formula that will keep you and put you in the present moment. Let's take a trip into Gym Talk land where some of the advice is more than sketch. Sally Mae is not still beating down my door for this kinesiology degree payment for nothing.
Now we're increasing the stretch in our glute by adding a slight rotation.
Reasons I would suggest to avoid this exercise is because when you are twisting the torso, it moves the load away from the hip hinge and redistributes the efforts to the spinal rotators and the obliques. If you pay attention right here, I'm going to slow it down and repeat it. Spinal flexion and rotation at the same time while carrying a load is a classic recipe for injury, specifically lumbar and lower back. I've gotten a whole bunch of glute gains and progress by just going ahead with the standard single leg RDL, but I am going to show you how I make it the most effective and I get the most bang for my buck when I do these. First thing that will make a difference is saving the single leg RDLs for the last part of your program. I'm talking about third, fourth exercise. It should be second to last, like last call for alcohol in the club. That should be the time you do single leg RDLs, because by that point your muscle fibers are a lot more fatigued and you can go in with a more appropriate weight for you. The weight still needs to be 70% of your 1RM, but even then you won't have to be picking up a 50-pound dumbbell to quote unquote feel challenged. Next thing I always do is slow down all of my movements. This has gotten so much more gains in my journey. Put up a camera and see where it is that you're speeding it up. That's where your body is trying to skip feeling the resistance the most. If you take that section and pay attention to it, slow that down, you will be fatigued by the same weight. And you rotate the shoulders externally, pretend that you're trying to squeeze and hold a quarter between your shoulder blades is the best way to think about it. My clients start howling about how the back of their legs and glutes are in pain. Next, I want to talk about progressing. I know single leg movements can be challenging to progress. You are definitely gonna need to have a journal or something where you are recording and writing this down, because if you're dependent on putting it into your iPhone notes, it is gonna be giving gym Tourette's. You're gonna be like 5 ankle, 30 bar. You're like, what is all of this? What am I talking about? When you get to the point where you're layering weights, you will get stronger, faster. And when you get to that point, you might as well already be in the habit of writing down your workouts. So when it gets intricate like this and you're putting 5 pounds here, 10 pounds for the bar, but another 2.5 there, it is going to be able to be consistent because you remember exactly what the whole shebang and formula is. So that's something that also has gotten me a lot of growth, has been being extremely consistent about recording the add-ons, because I will forget. What did you have for lunch last Tuesday? Oh, okay, exactly. So writing it down is the way to go. I'll look at the difference with me adding on. That's a 8-pound ankle weight. I am struggling. I'm on the struggle bus. You can see how much slower I'm moving. My abs are popping out. My core is popping out, trying to brace and send prayers up to the Lord. Your core is the exact opposer of your glutes. So when you see those popping and you see those working and percolating, that means that your glutes are working just as hard, because that's your core is what's stabilizing you for the glutes to push. So that is exact proof on camera that ankle weight will make your glutes work 10 times harder and you don't need as much weight. Speaking of which, let's go back into Gym Talk land where it is this myth of pushing so much heavier weight, especially on hip thrusts. I would suggest the idea of bringing together a workout routine like a recipe rather than one star ingredient. I see a lot of popular posts that kind of allude to the fact that, oh, if you just stack this one exercise really heavy, then you get gains in that area, and that's not how it works. It's more about hitting those muscle fibers from different angles, and certain various exercises put together will help you do that in a program. Step ups is one of the ones that I recommend because there are not a lot of high activation glute exercises, contrary to popular belief. They're tried and true traditional OGs. So step ups is the #1 glute fiber activator in a study. If you go down my page, I don't know how far, I did a video on it. It's good when you're starting out and trying to build muscle. Make sure that you aren't putting all of your weight on your back leg. So that will look something like this when you're like bouncing down. Make sure that that landing is really soft. You kind of want to be landing on your toe box first, then slowly putting the rest of your foot down. I found the most progress when I didn't focus on lifting heavy. I never did, but when I didn't focus on progressing so fast, and I just put that down and focused on movement pathways. So let me break down what movement pathways means. For a hip hinge, a movement pathway is that motion that when you're going back and your torso is facing directly parallel to the floor. That's a hip hinge. Okay, so there are ways that you can practice that, and you can wake up that signal in your brain so that it grabs more muscle fibers. Or think of like a Wi-Fi connection. You can go in certain stores. Sephora at the Delamo Mall is notorious for having absolutely no signal. I just go in there knowing it's not gonna happen. You could disconnect whatever you was listening to. Same goes for your muscle fibers, right? You go to do a certain exercise, you thinking you need to lift heavier, you need to work on that signal. And the more muscle fibers you snatch up, then the more you're going to grow, because the stronger that signal is going to be every time you do that exercise. Okay, so I hope that you are feeling more confident after this video. I hope that things are less confusing and you know which way to go. I will see you in the next one. Bye.